We've got legislation on the agenda tonight for a 10-year useful life project to South Bedford. The scope of the project is to grind and recycle what's in place out there. Ken would start at Highland Road and work our way north, and we'd stop at the newer section of South Bedford where the curbs start. The scope is similar to what we had done on South Freeway, which we've had a lot of success with. We'd recycle the pavement and overlay it, and restripe it.
But no turning lane, sidewalks?
No, this legislation doesn't include the sidewalks. It does not include the signal and the widening by the high school. Working on that, I will have something to the mayor's office for the next council session for the sidewalks.
How can we get a discount on engineering? Because we spend a lot of money on engineering. What can we do to cut that cost?
I mean, it's
we're going to, Mike, we're going to have that discussion in March at a work session. Mo Darwish will be here. McBinney's going to be here. I had lunch with him recently, and we sat down and talked about that. Mo was supposed to be here for our meeting in February, for our work session in February, but he can't make it, so he'll be coming to the March meeting, and you'll be able to have as much time as you like to talk to him.
Thank you.
Like you, just stay on what you're working on. Just explain what the cost breakdown is, Nick.
Okay, so the cost breakdown for the proposed legislation tonight is about $256,000 for the road improvements, and we have estimated for design and construction administration another $13,000 and $25,000, which are high. I mean, it's easier to come in high and work our way down.
It's construction administration.
Inspection, watching the contractor.
Is that done by the building department or is that done by you?
That's engineering.
So it'll be done by GPD?
And depending on how quickly the contractor works, I mean, that number could very well, come in at 15. It's easier for me to tell you, I'd rather come to you and tell you it's gonna be 25 and be able to work comfortably within that and finish it in the long run.
When do you plan on doing this?
We would like one school that's out this summer. Highland Road is scheduled to open in August. There's a pretty good possibility that the contractor's ahead of schedule on that. We'd like to start South Bedford Road
The day after school?
after school stops and once Highland Road is open.
Actually, if I may help Nick a little bit, the reason we're asking for this in legislation outside the budget is so that we could go out for bids and make this happen quickly. All right. We had concerns, well, we're gonna fix it, it'll last 2 years and we're gonna have to fix it again. To fix it the way that it's been proposed is a $2.1 million job. So what we'd like to do is work with Joe Clark in the schools to try and get safe route to school funds. That doesn't happen overnight, so at least we fix this problem. The sidewalks are in the works right now. That will appear as separate legislation. And we will do those 2 steps to take care of the safety issues immediately.
Can the sidewalks be put on this new work you're talking about being done?
Yes.
Okay, so that's
We
not,
can-
you're not gonna tear something up to redo
No,
the sidewalk?
No, and the point is if you bid it out separately, if you bid out the walk separately from the whole job, now you don't have an asphalt company trying to hire somebody at another rate to get the sidewalks in. You're gonna get your best rate if we break it up and separate bids. That way we have your Anthony and Legas, everybody who does the smaller concrete guys that can actually bid it.
So if I vote yes on this now, then let's do that.
I mean, the benefit of bidding the roadway now, as the mayor mentioned, you're getting down the streets when asphalt, the paving contractors are looking for work now, so, I mean, you're getting better prices when they can lock down their work schedule in advance.
So this is totally separate from our capital expenditures for roads. This would be something above and beyond.
But where are we gonna, but we gotta pay attention to the budget too, and we start passing these things without paying attention to the budget.
I agree. That's a very good point.
Well, why can't we
However,
wait another month?
it's also a very good point. We have a dangerous situation that needs to be addressed, and you can't always plan those kind of things. When somebody gets hurt, it's too late.
But if the fire levy doesn't pass.
If the fire levy
We'll get out
doesn't
of
pass,
that.
our residents will have to realize that this will severely impact them. And hopefully, they're not going to fail that lesson.
Well, Don, the fire levy, the fire personnel in this community have always received a great deal of support. I do not see that levy failing.
That
And
could be our
secondly,
best value, our best
Yep.
bang for the buck might be our fire.
you're exactly right. And we need to get this road done because, Mike, you were talking about the residents who talk to you over the fence.
Every day they talk about that.
Who talks about South Bedford Road?
A guy came to my store about a month ago who lives over on Blue Jay, and that's all he said was, how do we get sidewalks down that road? How do we get that road fixed? I mean, he came, he's accustomed, and he came to talk to me.
But if I had to define, I know we used to sit in council years back and we defined what the top priority was. And we came to the conclusion it was Route 82 and putting the bridge over. Right now, if you take a look at the most critical project that the city can complete right now, it is South Bedford Road by the high school. And we need to get it done. We just need to get this done tonight, and we need to get the process going. Because if it goes on much further, I really believe we're gonna have a problem there with safety. And I think, Rita, did you identify a problem with safety last meeting?
Well, I just said, that the way it is right now, I mean, the problem is busing. The problem is we need busing back. And that would eliminate a lot of the traffic, because if that school caught on fire, there's no way a fire truck can get up in there during, the school beginning and the school ending. No way. No way.
One of the things that's uppermost in our minds is to create an atmosphere that will endorse and encourage biking. Theoretically, with the bridge being done on 82 now, you have sidewalks all up and down 82. If we can make a sidewalk go from the Route 82 all the way to the school, our plan is to put bike racks there. Why? Because we want to encourage the kids to get exercise. When we talk about the congestion by the school, if you have a sidewalk all the way down that's safe to walk on, the cars can actually drop the kids off by Memorial Square, make a loop around and go right back out at the light, and the kids can walk to school safely.
They'll do it, they'll do it.
How much were we, we did it a couple weeks ago, we talked about having money in the budget for,
Capital?
yeah.
Yeah, about 380.
So this would
But there's
actually
some
be,
motor vehicle license plate tax from the county that we can ask for. There's over 140,000 alone, and that's a thoroughfare street, so that would qualify.
so we would actually have more than that in there already if we decided to deduct this entire 230, was it 239,000 is what it was?
Is that in addition to the other things we were talking about?
That was a total separate MDR motor vehicle.
No, the 380 that you said.
Yeah,
That's
that,
in
we
addition.
did that list of things that.
That didn't include this, I didn't think so,
We said
so.
we had that much left
So
over.
we either plug that in there and deduct from it, or put an additional onto it.
Right.
We also, we've worked up, we have now the retirement fund of $500,000, we have the emergency reserve fund of $500,000 and unencumbered it.
But Rita, their recent.
This Rita
figures-
or the tax agency?
Tax agency,
Okay.
Rita, $1.3 million will miss in 2014. if that-
Because of the tax.
that income tax on that.
Ken,
You know,
Jed money?
one of the things that's the impetus for this, why are we doing this now? Droughts are bad things and droughts are good things. And so it's looking like the bridge is going ahead quicker than anticipated. If the bridge was gonna take to September and the kids were back in school, you know, we probably wouldn't even be talking to you today.
Should
But
have a month.
The bridge could be done as early as possibly June. My God, let's do it and be done. Now, it'll last, the the road, the real good example is South Freeway. If you go to South Freeway and you look at that road, it has 18-wheelers on it, it has so much heavy traffic, and it's holding up wonderfully. It'll be the same process, and they're telling me from my engineering department, if it takes us 10 years to get funding from safe routes to school, that road will still be good.
So it's money well spent.
Yes.
I thought at one time there was talk about nobody really wanted to touch South Bedford Road until we actually, if you're gonna tear up the road, you wanted to do the sidewalks and everything all in one big shot.
Yep,
That's what-
$2.1 million.
that's what I
When
was
can we
told.
do $2.1 million?
We don't have the money.
We were
Right.
getting money from the transportation bill. We
Never.
didn't. So now we gotta live with it. We were getting money for, death tax, your inheritance tax. We're not getting it. We
Yeah,
were
we didn't
getting
want it.
money for mutual and municipal funding, and now we're not getting it.
Well-
So we're always the guys on the bottom of the ladder that have to deal with the situation right up to people's driveway. It's up to us.
I can, you know what happened, I grew up on Columbia Road in Westlake. My parents, the 3-lane highway came in on Columbia Road. Every resident, we all had to put in sidewalks. And I'll never forget it, cause my parents had to put in, you could, you know, get your own contractor, you know, the building department in Westlake gave everybody in the, homeowners a list of all, you know, concrete people and everything, and we all got to hire our own person. But it ended up being, the residents ended up putting the sidewalks in, so I think it might be a good idea if you're gonna fix that road, maybe put that out there, let the residents put sidewalks in front of their houses. If you
Well,
live on where the school is, I think it's a good idea.
If I may address that.
That was turned down.
Yep,
Oh, well,
we have
that's
gone
right.
to the residents, we have said to them, would you put in sidewalks? And a lot of them say, I'll never have a sidewalk in my front yard ever. How's it gonna be there now? It's gonna be in our right of way.
Well, we had to,
Right next
they
to
said
the
we
ditch.
had to.
How much is the cost for the sidewalk?
Sidewalks are probably gonna be about 50.
I was gonna say 55.
Yeah, it depends on what we actually do there, but,
You said that the sidewalks are gonna be in the right of way. Do we have right of way acquisition? Is that what you're
Nope.
talking about?
No.
All right.
got it.
You have a 60-foot right of way, the road's about in the middle of that right of way. And the sidewalk that we're looking at is gonna complete the gaps on the west side, so it would sneak in between the utility poles and the fire hydrants. So you got a road with a small shoulder and a ditch, the sidewalk would be on the backside of the ditch.
Remember, the road has changed. Macedonia has changed in the last 25 years, 30 years, 40 years. You didn't have the traffic, you didn't have the number of students, you didn't have the freeway, people looking for alternative routes. Children weren't as active, I think, as they are doing now. They got cross-country practice, football practice, so going back and forth to school, sometimes 2 times a day. There's ball games there, there's a beautiful stadium. The demand is higher and the world has changed. And that sidewalk has become more and more of a safety issue every year that we don't put it in. Every year.
The superintendent, Joe Clark, wrote Ken and you and I today, Peggy.
Yeah,
Well,
he knows it's an accident waiting to happen. Terrible.
It should be, I think if we're gonna do the road, we should do the sidewalks at the same time.
And
maybe a
that's what
couple
I
weeks
think.
Well,
later.
we need to do drawings and stuff. We're right there.
Right,
You'll
yeah,
get
yeah,
it
yeah,
next
yeah.
meeting.
Well, the
Okay.
50,000 for the right of way, or for the sidewalks, does that include construction supervision and engineering?
Yes.
What?
I'm working on finalizing that number right now, Dave.
So the
What's
question,
in
so the answer is it doesn't, 55 does not.
I don't have the detail
It should.
to tell you yes or no. We're working on getting a detailed cost estimate for that right now.
But you're good on it.
Well, Nick has always been very conservative, and if you'll notice our past record, every single project we've done has come in under budget. The bid has come in under budget.
The sidewalks don't have to be inspected by engineering, that can be done in building, that would be a savings.
But then what's the engineering cost? I mean,
There's a lot of utilities.
We're talking at,
It's
we
still
have
gotta be
380
done.
left, and now we're gonna spend 290, and there's another 55 plus. I mean, you're asking us to do this without going to the budget, through the budget process. I think we ought to know these answers.
Where's the 290 at? I thought it was
This is 290.
No, it's the total cost.
Oh, I thought it was on 230.
Yeah, it's,
No, it's two, you forgot the engineering and the.
Oh, it was on that sheet.
It's on.
But-
Engineering is a necessary evil, it's not free, I mean.
I'm not complaining about that.
And you've gotta remember something too, and I'd like to point this out, cause it seems like there's something going on here, a little bit of animosity towards them, but, you know, how much money do these guys bring into this community to get us bridges? I mean, we're talking millions upon millions of dollars. Engineering costs money, and I think GPD is a great company that's done a lot of good for our community.
Nick, I wasn't being antagonistic. All I'm saying is we need to know the total cost of both, that's all. Because we only have a certain amount of money, and if we're gonna spend the money, there's gonna be no other capital projects. And, you know, all I'm saying is you need to be cautious on what we're doing.
well, we are being cautious. We've been cautious for the last few years. That's why the city's in such a good position right now. So, do we have a consensus to go ahead with this project? Because I don't wanna miss this. I really don't wanna miss it because the school wants it, the residents want it,
And I want it.
Well,
and Mike Miller wants it.
Well, does the school want that help out?
They're doing everything they can to help.
Well, this is where right-of-way acquisition for anything that we would do in front of the school, I've already hinted that to Joe Clark. Their part of this could be giving us right-of-way. When the need arises, right now it doesn't, but it will.
We can't just do first reading tonight, Ken, though, and just have, so we can look at this.
No, we gotta
The
get- we
budget's
gotta-
gonna be
we
done.
wanna
I
get
mean,
this done.
What's
We might
another
have to
one?
do budget till March 31st though.
No, I know, but
Well,
we're gonna have a meeting next
we're having a
week.
budget meeting next week.
Right, I think maybe.
But we need to get this done tonight.
If we go out for bids as quickly as possible, we'll get a better
Well,
price.
I think I'm gonna listen to my finance guy over there.
Well,
Let's-
Scott is gonna be open.
My opinion, this is a great project, you don't wanna wait another year to tackle Bedford, and, with, Kenmore Construction a half mile down the road, the quicker they know that this is on the planning stages, we have to engineer it,
And they bid on it.
and we bid on it, I think they'd be crazy not to, because they're already mobilized. I think they'll see this as like, you know what, we got all the equipment here, we can knock this out.
Most West Front Porch.
And I think that they would do that, I think it'd be very competitive.
Planets have aligned on this one.
So,
Planets have aligned on this
so
one.
Nick, why don't you, do this 1, 2, 3, let's get this done and get South Bedford Road completed, okay?
Which number is this again?
This is just for the engineering and let